So, hey everybody, what's for dinner? MyraHarris, your Pampered Chef here, and I got a message on my way home, and it was somebody wanting my chicken and dumplings recipe. They couldn't find it on my page, so that kind of flung a craving, and then I found out my daughter wasn't feeling really well and had stayed out of work today, so I think some chicken and dumplings are in order for her too. It's quick, it's easy, it's something that you can keep the ingredients on hand, and yeah, it's pretty yummy. So let's get started here. And so thanks, Anna, for the idea. And we will get started. I'm going to turn you down here so you can see what we're doing. And if you got questions, throw it on there. Hey, whoever's joining us, thanks for popping on. This is probably one of the easiest recipes you could ever do. You can do 2 cans of cream of soup. It can be, I like to do a combination of mushroom and chicken. And let's see. Okay, so creamy chicken, creamy mushroom, a large can or 2 small cans of the chicken breast, and 2 cans of crescent rolls. And you'll need 2 cans or like 28 ounces of the broth. So this is more than what we'll need, but we'll need that. And you'll need a little bit of flour for dusting your surface. And I like to use a pizza cutter to cut it up. So when you have cans like this, when you have our can opener, ignore the pop top on top and just go ahead and open it this way, because this is going to save your scrapers. I'm going to turn you on around here so you can see what I'm doing. So just pretend that that pop tab is not on there so that you can open your lid, get all the goodie off there, and I don't have to worry about chewing up the sides of my scraper when I clean that can out of all of its goodness. And I've got my oven preheating. That's the first thing you do, is get your oven going. I've got it to 375. So do that first thing, 375. We're going to open up our cans here. And I love this. If you have not had Can Opener 101, let me know if you need help with how to use our can opener. It goes on the side like this. So it just kind of sits straight on top. When you go around, you twist it backwards and that will let go. But nothing is sharp. No metal shavings going into your food. It's pretty doggone awesome. If y'all got any questions or comments or anything at all, don't hesitate to throw it out there. And you stir these up pretty good. And then we want to get about 28 ounces of the broth. And I cheat here. I take a lot of help from the microwave. You can do this all in the oven, but it's going to take you a lot longer. In the oven, you would do this and you would let this get hot. You would let it probably take about 20 minutes or so in the oven. So usually these cans are about 14.5 ounces. So we need about 28 ounces of chicken broth. You could also do this with bouillon cubes. And, you know, there's just a smidge in there. What are you going to do with just that smidge of chicken broth? You know, we're just going to add it. I don't think that's going to make all that difference in here, because just going to need those extra few drops. And I hate to throw things away, so we're just going to put it in there. So give this a little zhuzh and get it stirred up a little bit. It's going to bubble and boil and all that good stuff. We're going to open our can of chicken. Same thing. And thanks for catching us tonight. What are y'all making for dinner? It's kind of a rainy, droopy, dreary evening here, and so I think these chicken and dumplings are going to hit the spot. So you go all the way around. If you feel like you've passed leave you on the label twice, then you twist it backwards and it lets go. And you can open up your can. Now sometimes these larger cans do have a hard time because it just can't get where it needs to because it is a much larger can to open it. So I do keep a backup can opener on hand for the larger ones, but this one's going to do it. And sometimes there's just a lot of adhesive on those cans, so you might have to go around them twice. So here we go. But our can opener is made for your basic standard size cans. So just going to chunk that up a little bit. Oh heavens, a little bit overboard. We're going to put the lid on and we're going to microwave that. It's going to take it about 8 minutes to get good and bubbly. So I'm going to throw that in the microwave. This is where it really speeds up the time frame. And I don't know about you all, but by the time I decide what dinner needs to be, then I'm already hungry. I am ready to have something in the works, and I don't want to wait forever. So now we're going to make our dumplings, and it's crescent rolls, y'all. These are super easy to get. You just want to dust your surface. I just use one of our flexible cutting mats. Put a little flour down. Unroll these guys. If you can do this without giving yourself a heart attack. Nobody else is going to tell me what's for dinner. I can see there's a few of you out there, but what's one of your go-to quick and easy recipes that you can make at the drop of a hat? I try to keep crescent rolls on hand. I try to keep some cream of soups on hand. You can make your own cream of soups. I just haven't done a whole lot of that. I've done it once or twice. And there's, different recipes and substitutions and things. This is not a health conscious recipe. There's probably not a thing healthy about this. Maybe a little protein from the chicken breast. But other than that, this is just good old Southern comfort food. So we just want to sprinkle a little bit more flour on the tops of these, just so they don't stick together, and so that they don't stick to the pizza cutter, because that's what I use to cut them up. So we got a little more flour here. Let's see if this one pops. And it's like the adult version of Jack in the Box, right? We don't know when it's going to pop, but we know it will. There we go. So I had a kitchen fail. Homecoming was Sunday for our church, and I did not have enough eggs. I was going to do deviled eggs. So I told somebody who lives in this household still to get me either the 18-pack or 2 small packs. So he came back with a dozen eggs. So I thought, okay, I'm going to substitute. I'm going to see what you can substitute for eggs in brownie mix. Oh, no problem. It says buttermilk. I actually have some buttermilk. Don't do that. It just does not work. They looked like bubbling, boiling, I don't know what. Did not work. So do not use the substitute of buttermilk in your brownies for an egg substitute. Now, I'm just going to take our pizza cutter and cut these bad boys up. So, super, super easy. That little bit of flour is going to keep them from sticking. You can go a little bit more with the flour if you want to. And then we'll toss these up. So I may sprinkle a little extra and toss them around on top of each other. So like I said, it takes about 8 minutes or so in the microwave for all that soup and broth and chicken to get going. And that gives plenty of time for you to cut up these dumplings and toss them around with a little flour so they're not sticking to each other, or just leave them to air dry just a little bit. Super, super easy. I love that it's kind of one pot, not a whole lot of mess made, and ready to go really, really quickly. So you can just sprinkle on a little bit more flour if you want to, and then toss those around. Anybody made this recipe before? I'm guessing that Anna is going to be making it tonight since she asked for the recipe. But I've made this many, many times. If you were doing it in the oven, the recipe they gave us originally was 2 cans of everything in 20-20-10. 2 cans of crescent rolls, 2 cans of cream of, 2 cans of broth, 2 little cans of chicken. And what you did was you mixed the soup and the broth together, and you did that for 20 minutes at 375 in the oven in your stoneware. At the time we did it in the stoneware baking bowl. I'm using the rock crock because that's just like my favorite everything. And then you got it out and you stirred it, and you put the chicken, or you put the crescent rolls in, and then you did it another 20 minutes, and then you got it out and stirred it, and you put the chicken in, and you did it for 10 more minutes. Well, I ain't got time for that. If something happened and my microwave died, I might make time for it, but I like speeding it up. So we're doing about 8 minutes in the microwave, and it's going to take about 15 in the oven for all of these pieces of crescent rolls that are now my dumpling material. It's going to take about that much time for them to get cooked through, and a few of them will brown on the top, and then I'll just take the spatula and just kind of dunk them down in a little pepper, and we are going to call it dinner. And I'll call my daughter over and let her eat. Hey, Brandon, he'll be the first one to tell you the best chicken and dumplings you'll ever eat. Oh, yeah. But now, this is not the ones my mama makes. Those are like real deal, traditional, you know, cook the chicken, pick the chicken off the bone, or just use boneless breast to start with. And hers is the real deal, mixing up the biscuit dough, all that good stuff. But this is a whole different version of it. So, Brandon, if you're out and about, come on up and get you a bite of these, and we'll let you compare. But I never did like regular old chicken and dumplings. Something about the dough, and I'm a biscuit dough eater. I mean, I could eat just this right now by itself, and have always done that with Mama's biscuit dough. I would clean out the bowl that she had made biscuits in. Of course, she thought I was weird. I am, but that's just one of those things that I did. I was that weird kid who would eat raw biscuit dough. But I never liked the chicken and dumplings. So don't tempt me. Hey, I'm not tempting. It's a legit offer. So, yeah, if you're out riding the roads, come on up and get you a bite. I will share. So all that's left to do is we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And I know y'all don't want that. I can eat the raw dough too. Okay, well, I'll fight you for it. I'm not sharing too much of it because it does become really good dumplings. But just another couple minutes on that. I won't keep you all here. Obviously, you don't want to sit and stare at my microwave while it counts down, or you don't want to stare at me while the oven is doing its thing. But just going to be stirring this in, literally. Stir it in, just give it all a little dunk so that all these pieces are a little bit coated. The lid's going to go on, and it's going to go in the oven. One thing you want to do is make sure if you've got a deep vessel, like the rock crock is a little bit deeper, lower my oven rack before you get started. It's a whole lot easier to handle a cold oven rack than it is to try to juggle it with oven mitts on and get it in the right place, so that you've got room in there, because the rock crocks have a little bit of a raised handle on the top so you can get the lid off of it. So you want to make sure that there's room in there. So we've got that going. I think that is probably bubbling and boiling. So I'm going to get that out and stir that in. And the rest is just a matter of waiting. So really could not be easier. And the microwave grips make it really easy. They're in gray now. But make it real easy to get a hold of that lid and set it off to the side. Give it a little stir. Make sure that that's all mixed and going. And then I'm literally just going to pick up this flexible cutting mat and rake all that goodness in there. Okay. So really nothing to it. And yes, it's okay that there's excess flour in there. That's just going to thicken up my dumplings. Did y'all get to see that? No, I had you tilted too far. So I just dumped all that in, literally. And just going to give it the slightest stir, just so that everything gets one little coat of moisture on there. And lid back on. And it's going to go take a little nap in the oven. I've got it set at 375. And we're going to leave that in there for about 15 minutes. A whole lot faster than the old-fashioned way. Hey, Doris. All right. So 15 minutes, and it's going to be chicken and dumpling time here. We're going to put a little pepper on it and call it good. We usually just eat the chicken and dumplings by themselves, but what do y'all eat as a side dish with your chicken and dumplings? Let me know. So thanks for catching it tonight. Like I said, it's 2 cans of everything. And preheat your oven while you're microwaving the rest, and your rock crock or your deep covered baker or your old stoneware baking bowl. It would have to be something that's thick enough to be microwavable to get that hot and boiling, and then something that also can go in the oven. So nothing does that better than the rock crock. So that's what I've got mine in tonight. So thanks again. And there's a side dish with chicken and dumplings. I know, right? Is there? That's what I'm asking. That's the question I would like to know the answer to. If there's a side dish to serve with it, what is it? So let me know. Jot that down in the comments if there's anything. I just think pepper is the side dish you have with chicken and dumplings. I like a little bit of fresh ground pepper on mine. So thanks again. Hope y'all have something really delicious for supper. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.